Okay, so far we've been multiplying binomials, but our methods for multiplying binomials work equally well on a polynomial of any size. So we're going to multiply polynomials of different sizes than just binomials. Okay, we've learned two methods, the distributive method and also the box method. I will do them both ways, but if you have a preferred method, you should use the way you prefer, and then just check to make sure we are getting the same answers. So I'm going to multiply x plus 3 times x squared plus 7x plus 5 in example 1. I'm going to distribute for the first one, and then I'll do box for the second one. Okay, if I'm distributing, remember I just distribute the first thing times everything in the second parenthesis, and then I do the second term by everything in the parenthesis, and I'm still going to combine my like terms, and it's the same process as before. Okay, now if I do x times x to the second, remember this x counts as an x to the 1, so x times x to the second is actually x to the third. X times 7x is 7, and then x times x is x to the second, and then x times 5 is positive 5x. Okay, now I've distributed to all three things, which is why I have three terms now. Now I need to distribute this 3. This is a positive 3. So this is going to be positive 3x to the second, 3 times 7x, positive 21x, and 3 times 5 is positive 15. I ended with 6 terms because I distributed to 3 twice. Okay, now, just like before, my next step is to look for like terms so I can put my answer in a simplified format. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with x to the third. There are no other x to the thirds in this expression, so I'm going to leave it x to the third. Okay, now I'm going to go to the x to the seconds. I do have 7x to the second here. And I also have positive 3x to the second here, so I end up with positive 10x to the second when I combine them. And let me check the x's now. See, I have positive 5x plus 21x, so I have positive 26x's now. And then that 15 at the end is just going to stay at the end. And then this is a nice answer. It's actually in standard form, which it didn't say it had to be, but it's always nice to have it in standard form. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do example 2. I'm going to use the box method this time, but if you're comfortable with distributing, you could distribute it and then just make sure we get the same answer at the end. Okay, now if I'm going to do the box method, this has 2 terms and this has 3 terms. So when I set up the box, I have to make sure I have 2 by 3. It doesn't matter which side's 2 and which side's 3, but I need to leave space. So I'm going to go 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Since the 2x plus 5 has 2 terms, I'm going to go ahead and line it up here. If I had oriented my box differently, I might have done it along the top. And I'm multiplying by x squared minus 3x plus 4, so I'm going to line that up on the side that has space for 3 terms. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and multiply to figure out what goes in each box. So 2x times x to the second is going to be 2. X times x to the second is now x to the third. If I go here, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and then x times x is x to the second, so negative 6x to the second. If I go here, 2x times positive 4 is positive 8x. And I'm going to keep going. Here I have 5 times x squared, so that's positive 5x squared. Over here, 5 times negative 3x is negative 15x. And then in my last box, I have 5 times 4, which is positive 20. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look for like terms. I'll start with the highest degree, just like I did on the previous problem. So I have 2x to the third, and that's all. I don't have any other x to the third, so I'm going to go ahead and put that first. I'm going to go ahead and check the x to the seconds. Let's see, I have negative 6x to the second, and I have plus 5 next to the second, x to the second. So negative 6 plus 5 means I now have negative 1x to the seconds. I'm going to go to the x's. Let's see, I have 8x minus 15x, so I have minus 7x's. And then I still have this plus 20, which I haven't written yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put that at the end. Okay, and then this is my final answer. If you use the distributive property, you should have the same answer. We just organized our like terms in a different way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and distribute on this third example, and then I'll do the box on the fourth. But again, if you are you should be sticking with your preferred method. Okay, so let me see if I distribute x times x to the second is x to the third. X times minus 2x minus 2x to the second. X times 5 is positive 5x. Okay, I'm done distributing the x. Now I'm going to go back and distribute this minus 3. So minus 3x to the second. Minus 3 times minus 2x is going to be positive 6x. And minus 3 times 5 is minus 15. Now I'm going to check for my like terms. Let's see, if I start with x to the thirds, there's no other x to the third, so I'm going to bring down x to the third. Let me check the x to the seconds. I have negative 2x to the second minus 3x to the second, which is going to be even more minused. So minus 2 minus 3 becomes minus 5, x to the seconds. I have positive 5x, positive 6x, so 5 plus 6 is 11x. And then the minus 15 does not have like terms, but it's important, so I'm going to bring it down. That's my final answer, and if you did the box method, you should have the same final answer. Okay, one more example, and I will box it this time just for a change. Oh, look, I put the answers at the bottom. I don't remember doing that. Okay, this is a 2 by a 3, so on one side I need to leave space for 2, on the other side I need to leave space for 3. It could go either direction. I just have more room horizontally. Okay, but if I am doing it this way, since 3x minus 2 has 2 terms, I'm going to put that here because that's where there's space for it. So 3x minus 2 multiplied by 9x to the second plus 6x plus 4. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my boxes. 3x times 9x to the second is 27x to the third. 3x times 6x, 18x to the second. I like to put a plus. 3x times 4 is 12x. Okay, and then I'm going to go here. Negative 2 times 9x to the second is negative 18x to the second. Negative 2 times 6x is negative 12x. And negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Okay, let me go ahead and put my answer. This is the highest degree, so I'm going to go ahead and put that first. Let me check my x to the seconds. I have 18x to the seconds minus 18x to the seconds. So 18 minus 18 is nothing, so I have no x to the seconds left, so I'm not even going to write it. Okay, now let me check my x's. Okay, I have 12x minus 12x. 12x minus 12x is also nothing, so those cancel, so I'm not going to bring those down. What's left? I still have the minus 8. Okay, so in this case, the middle terms canceled, so my final answer is 20x to the third minus 8. Okay, go ahead and try the practice problems. When you're done, check and make sure you're getting them correctly. Remember, you can use either distributive method or the box method, whichever way you prefer.